Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for watching. So for today's makeup tutorial, I decided, seeing as this weekend I was supposed to be going to Coachella, but coronavirus had some other plans for us all, I thought I would do a festival inspired makeup look using some pastel eyeshadows because I am obsessed with the pastel makeup trend at the moment. I love that it's become such a thing. So I've gone for this pink eyeshadow look. It's actually so easy to do. It's basically requires 2 steps and it's super simple. If I can do it, anyone can do it. So I have used some new products in this look, but I've also brought back some of my old favorites because they just had to feature. So if you would like to see how I created this makeup look, then please keep watching. So I'm just gonna start by brushing up my eyebrows. The brush I'm using for this is the Benefit Brow Spoolie. So because the eyeshadow that I'm using today is quite a bright colour, I am going to use an eyeshadow base. I'm going to use the NARS one. This is in colour medium. This is just because I feel like with a coloured eyeshadow you do not want any movement at all. You want it to stay in place. So I'm literally just going to put this all over my lid. I'm just going to buff this out with a full coverage touch-up brush by Bobbi Brown. And then I'm going to bring it right into the corner of my eye and all the way up to my eyebrow, because that's basically where I'm going to put the eyeshadow. Just before I put any eyeshadow on, I'm going to grab some concealer. So for this, I'm just using a little bit of the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is in colour Ginger, and I'm just going to put a tiny bit underneath my eyebrow, and then using that same brush, I'm just going to buff that out. So this eyeshadow look is actually really easy and it's basically done in 2 steps. So for this I'm using a Huda Beauty Matte and Metal Melted eyeshadow, and this is in the colour Wednesday. So the first step is you're going to apply the colour to your lid. This can kind of be a bit rough because we are going to buff this first colour out. So literally just apply all over. And then once it's on your lid, I'm going to get a fluffy blending brush. This is a Morphe E28. And I'm literally just gonna brush the whole thing out. And this is where I'm taking the eyeshadow up to my eyebrow. I'm really covering basically the whole area that we put the eyeshadow primer. I'm also gonna bring the colour up to my brow bone as well. And then with the side, you just kind of want to go up into like a slight bit of a wing when you're buffing. So this starts you off with a really soft base. The next step is where you want to be a little bit more precise. So I'm going back into the eyeshadow and I'm basically going to follow along the line of my crease with the shadow and just cover my whole lid. Like so. So you basically got your whole lid covered, and then using a flat brush, so this is like a flat concealer brush, this is a Sigma concealer brush, you're going to push the shadow in. So you're not going to blend it around, you're just going to pat it. This is also so you can get a really precise kind of crease line. Now this is one of my favourite things about this eyeshadow, is it dries really matte, but it also dries quite quickly. So if you don't buff it out, it will stay this perfect sort of bright pink colour, which is one of my favourite things about this eyeshadow. But you also have to make sure that you kind of get that shape semi-quickly before it dries, you know? So then you are left with basically a very bright pink lid, and this will dry completely matte and it also sets in place. It's such a good eyeshadow, especially for something like a festival, because I don't think your makeup is going anywhere. Then once that step is finished, I'm going to go in and brighten the eyeshadow up a little bit. So I'm using the Pastel Rose Huda Beauty palette here, and I'm going to use this pale pink colour here. This is basically, it's quite white when it comes out, it's quite like a light pink. Basically focus, and for this I'm using a eye smoke and smudge brush from Huda Beauty. I'm basically just going to put it into the corner of my eye. So that's just to give it that inner corner sort of like highlight brightness to the eyeshadow look. So now I've done both eyes. This step is actually kind of not needed if you don't want to buy all of the products in this look, but I'm just doing it because I do happen to have a pink eyeliner. This one is from Fenty Beauty and the colour of it is Cute Thing. So I'm not going to do a wing or anything, I'm just going to line along the top of my lashes. This is why, as I say, it's not necessarily needed, but I'm just doing it because I have a pink eyeliner. These Fenty Beauty coloured eyeliners are so good if you just want to wear a colour on their own. Like, they are so soft. They come off so easily and they're really easy to work with. So if you're looking for a coloured eyeliner, I can definitely recommend these ones. So before I put my lashes on, I'm just going to clean up along the bottom of my eye and get rid of any excess. I do still like to go up in a slight sort of like winged direction when I clean off this eye look, just so it works really well with my concealer when I put that on. So I'm just going to coat my lashes with a bit of mascara. This is the Roller Lash mascara from Benefit. And then I'm going to put some lashes on. So these ones are the Doll Beauty lashes in Esmeralda. I've been wearing these ones a lot recently, so I'm just going to put these ones on. So these lashes I think are perfect for this look because they've got a real sort of winged look. They're very kind of butterfly-esque, which I do kind of get that butterfly-ish vibe from this makeup. So next I'm going to move on to my favourite part of makeup as always, which is skin. So I'm going to start off by prepping the skin. I am using at the moment, so it's the Dr. Jart Tiger Grass Colour Correcting Treatment, which is perfect as a makeup primer. So I'm just going to apply this all over my face to start with. And it turns basically sort of like a beige colour over the areas of your skin that need colour correcting. So yeah, I love this. One of my favourite things about this primer slash treatment is I feel like you can see it working almost instantly, and I love anything that you can see working. I'm going to move on to foundation next. So for foundation, I'm going to use the Hourglass Vanish Stick in Golden. It's been a while since I bought this one out in any of my makeup tutorials. This literally used to be my ride or die. There was not a day that went past where I was not wearing this Hourglass foundation. So I'm just going to apply it straight onto my face like that. And then I'm going to get a Real Techniques brush. This one is the Expert Face Brush. And I'm just going to buff the foundation in. One of the things I love so much about this foundation is it is very full coverage, but it's also quite buildable. So you can, like, when you first apply it, it's a very good coverage, but you can really go to town with it, you know. I'm just going to go in with my damp beauty blender and basically blend it all out. This is just to get that really flawless skin look. The beauty blender also helps to get the hard to reach areas, so like under your eyes, which maybe the brush is a little bit difficult to buff the foundation into. So next I'm going to go and contour my face. For this I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal in Beautiful Bronze. When I use this product, I like to sort of squeeze a bit onto the back of my hand, just so there's not too much excess coming out on the actual brush applicator. And then I'm just gonna pop some on. And then to buff that out, I'm gonna use the Huda Beauty Face Bake and Blend. I'm gonna use the shorter, more kind of stubby end. And then I'm also going to add some to my forehead. I'm going to focus most of it sort of on the outside, as I want to make my forehead kind of look a little bit more narrower. So I've also just buffed the concealer into sort of like the tail end of my eyebrow. This again is just to make my kind of head look a little bit narrower. And then just grabbing that beauty blender, I'm just going to go over just to make sure it's blended. So next I'm going to move on to concealer. For this I'm going to use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Ginger. I'm going to pop some on the back of my hand. And then using a concealer brush, this is a shader one from Beauty Bay. I'm just going to apply that. And then I'm bringing the concealer quite high up because I want that real sort of like snatched look, you know. Then I'm going to use some Too Faced Born This Way concealer in Almonds. This is a much brighter concealer, it's quite white in colour. This I'm just going to add to the places that I want there to be a bit more brightness. And then using another beauty blender, but this is a mini one, I'm just going to blend that in. So just using a little bit more of that Too Faced concealer and the concealer brush, I'm just going to add a bit along the bridge of my nose. So now we're done with concealer, I'm going to set my face. So to start off with, I'm going to set under my eyes. For this, I have been using at the moment the Huda Beauty. So this is the Easy Bake Loose Setting Powder, and I'm going to use the colour Cupcake. This is amazing because it's a pinky colour, which is so good at brightening your under eye. But I'm just going to use this to set, I'm not going to use it to bake. It also smells unreal. This powder smells insane. It's kind of got like a real floral scent, but it's so nice. So I'm just using a little fluffy brush. This is a MAC one. And then I'm also going to use some of this powder just to set my chin and also sort of my T-zone area. So then for the rest of my face, I'm going to use the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder, and I'm going to use a fluffy brush. This one is a NYX Professional, a number 2 brush. So now I've set my makeup and we've got that perfect kind of matte skin base. I'm going to leave some bits to bake. I'm going to go back in with the Laura Mercier powder and I'm going to bake just kind of under my eyes. I'm also going to go along my nose a little bit like that just to make it look a bit more snatched because I'm not contouring it as such. I'm just using a bit of powder contour today on my nose. So I also just like to leave a really light little bake in the middle of my forehead, not too much. So yes, I'm just going to put it there for the time being. So I'm going to go in with some bronzer, and for this I'm going to use the MAC Give Me Sun bronzer and a big fluffy brush. This is a blank canvas F42, and I'm going to go over basically where I put the contour and just warm my face up a bit. This bronzer literally takes me back to my youth. I used to use this all the time when I was like 16, you know, and it used to come on all my holidays with me when I was very orange. I'm glad to say that at least I know how to use it now and I don't just cover my entire face with bronzer like I used to. So just before we add some blusher, I'm just gonna get rid of that powder that's baking. So for blush, I'm using a Beauty Bay Make Me Blush brush, and then I'm gonna use this Morphe palette, which has seen better days, should we say, but the colour I'm going to use is the sweet one up here. So this is such a good sort of pale pink blush, and it's very matte, so it's perfect for this makeup look. So I'm going to go in and fill my brows in. So for this, I'm using the Benefit Cosmetics Brow Zing palette. I've actually become obsessed with this recently, just because I feel like when you use this and the angled spoolie brush, you can get a real sort of like feathered stroke in your eyebrow. So I'm going to use the powder shades in this, and I'm just going to wet my spoolie with a bit of makeup setting spray. And then I basically just start from the bottom of my eyebrow and just brush upwards. The best thing about this eyebrow palette is it's got all these different shades in it, and it's got this on this side of the waxes and these sides of the powders, so you can really build up a shade that works perfectly for your eyebrow. So I use this colour in the middle, this like third one down on this side, and it's so good. But yeah, and then you can set them with the waxes and stuff if you want to, but I am going to set my eyebrows with the Benefit Cosmetics 24-hour brow setter, my absolute fave product. So the next step after eyebrows is to finish off the eyes. So I'm just going to go back in with the pale pink colour from the Huda Beauty palette in that same brush and just go back into the corner of my eyes just to make sure it's super seamless with the rest of the makeup, because obviously when we've put on the foundation and concealer and stuff, it can sometimes rub it off a little bit. And this pale pink colour is perfect because it acts like an inner corner highlight because it's so bright. So then for my lash line for this look, I'm gonna use the liquid eyeshadow again, but I'm just gonna put a tiny weeny bit onto the bottom. So I'm just gonna put it in like 2 little dots, really, really small amounts. I don't want it to be too heavy at all. And then I'm just gonna buff that out. And the reason why I say put a small amount on is because you can go back and basically just build it up to be as dark as you want the lower lash line to look. Now, because the lid itself is quite crazy, that is about as much as I'm going to put underneath my lower lash line. This is personal preference, you can put a bit more. So then, before I put mascara on my bottom lashes, I'm going to set my face. I'm going to use some MAC Fix Plus for this. The reason that I like to set my face before I put bottom mascara on is I always feel if I put bottom mascara on and then use the any setting spray, it rubs onto the underneath of my eyes. So if you feel that that does happen, that might be why. So set your face first, and then once your face is dry, add on your bottom mascara, and really doesn't smudge, which is quite good. For lips, I'm going to use my Absolute Faith combo, but with a gloss on the top. So I'm going to use the Morphe liner in Sweet Tea. And then, as always, I just like to bring the edges in a little bit and then just buff them out with my finger. So then for lipstick, I'm just gonna put a little bit of the Morphe Beryl lipstick in the middle. And then using my finger, I'm just gonna buff it out. And then over the top for gloss, I'm gonna use the KKW Beauty Proud of You lip gloss. So now that my face is dry from the makeup setting spray, I'm just gonna add some mascara to my bottom lashes, and I'm gonna use the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara for this. I mean, you can add highlighter to this, obviously, before you set your face and all that kind of stuff, but I am not a fan of highlighter at the moment, so I'm gonna keep the matte looking skin. So there we go, guys, that is the finished makeup tutorial. I really hope that you've enjoyed watching and that you like this look. It's something a little bit different, I must say. It's definitely a colour eyeshadow that I never thought I would wear, but I'm absolutely loving it. And if I was going to Coachella this weekend, like I was supposed to be, this is probably what I would have whacked out, but hey ho, I can save it for the next festival, whenever that may be. I really hope that you have enjoyed watching. I will link all the products that I have used in this video below, as always. If you do recreate this look, please make sure you tag me in all of your selfies, because I would love to see. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.